How's it going, guys and gals? This is Anthony, and today we're back at it with a new video on the channel. Today we'll be talking about the review for the 45th edition of Saturday Night's Main Event, live from Madison Square Garden. As you can see Danhausen on the poster. And this was a mixed bag. Before I start, Trick Williams retained the U.S. title against Laredo Kid. It was just like a 7-minute match, if I remember correctly. I did not watch it, but I just saw some clips of it because it was announced like a couple hours before the show started, so I didn't watch it because pre-show whatever, and no build up. So, but if you like this type of content, remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe. So without further ado, let's jump right in. The show started with the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship match where Brie Bella and Paige defended against Fatal Influences, accompanied by JC Jane, Lainey Reed, and Fallon Henley, to be more specific. And I really like how the match started with the bay faces being the veterans of the match, getting the better part out of the younger heels. But then they got some heat on Paige, and later on a little hit on Brie. I mean, it was like an 8-minute match, so I'm not gonna go move for move here because it was a short match. We got new women's tag team champions when Brie, I think was Brie, right? No. Brie Bella was outside of the ring, and Paige put Fallon Henley on a roll up. JC Jane came in without the ref seeing, reversed the roll up into the 1-2-3, and we got new women's tag team champions. And my question here is, now that JC Jane is not going to SummerSlam for the interim championship match, which, let me talk about that they announced on SmackDown. That is such stupid thing. When AEW does it, I hate it. When UFC does it, I hate it. And now that WWE does it, I also hate it. Because it's just a glorified way of saying it's a number one contenders match. Because that's what it literally is. It's literally a number one contenders match, a glorified number one contenders match. I hate it when WWE started doing it a couple years back under TKO. I hate it when UFC does it, and I also hate it when AEW does it. It's so stupid. But hey, now that I got that rant out of the way, I just want to see, well, does that mean that JC Jane will be part of defending the titles? Will they do a freebird rule in this situation? Where sometimes Lainey and Fallon defend, sometimes it's Lainey and JC, other times Fallon and JC, you know what I mean? And obviously this is coming, like a rematch is coming, either on SmackDown or at SummerSlam, where maybe Nikki is clear and they're gonna give the titles to Nikki and Brie or something like that, like, because the Brie and Paige situation, winning the titles, reminded me of when, you guys remember when in 2009 Angelina Love had visa issues and they gave the titles to and then I know they were not the inaugural knockout stack champions, but they gave the titles to Velvet Sky and Madison Rain while Angelina was fixing her visa issues, and the beautiful people, the OGs, were never tag team champions. I kind of feel this is the same situation. At least in this situation, they are gonna fix a wrong that TNA never fixed, because when they had the chance to give them the titles in 2011, TNA were like, oh, let's just give it to Angelina and Winter instead of Angelina and Velvet. I'm way off topic here, but I'm just trying to see the vision where this could go. So maybe the Bellas now Nikki comes back and becomes 3-on-3 and they win the titles, or and then they turn on Paige. So AJ comes back and they do the Bellas versus AJ and Paige for the titles, because I don't know, because this is kind of feels where it's going, because you know that at some point JC and Laney are gonna betray Fallon, because Fallon was originally the leader of Fatal Influence, and as time went on, she went from leader to lackey. And I know I am stretching this out. I know, almost 6 minutes, but I'm just trying to find an explanation here. So, on to the next match. Well, it was a no DQ match. Danhausen versus JD McDonough, accompanied by Dominic Mysterio. So technically, since it was no DQ, it was technically a handicap match where Danhausen was fighting from underneath until the mini Hausens came out, and he put a cat on the cloning machine. And when I saw the cat, I was like, we're in the garden, a cat, it's definitely Carl Anthony Towns, right? And lo and behold, Carl Anthony Towns came out for the save. He gave a chokeslam to Funko Pop and a chokeslam to Dominic Mysterio. Danhausen wins. Big pop from the garden. Man, Carl Anthony Towns gave a great chokeslam. Well, we need to talk about something here. Dominic looks like he doesn't care. And I understand that his booking in AAA is stronger than in the main roster of WWE. But man, they're not respecting the Mega Championship, eh? Like, he's like, Dominic is like the number one heel / number two babyface in AAA. So, well, my Bluetooth is gonna die soon, so whatever. He's the number two babyface / number one heel on AAA. And here, they're treating him like a joke. And obviously, I watched Monday Night Raw last night, or well, a couple hours ago, because I'm recording this at like midnight. So, well, not midnight. It's like 11 p.m. So you know, so an hour after Raw, you know. So, and they announced that it's gonna be Dominic and Danhausen at SummerSlam. I'm like, what the hell is this company doing? Like when Dominic turns on El Grande Americano at Verano de Escándalo, when they face Los Perros del Mal, whether it be, you know, Hector, Humberto, Daga, or any combination, it's not gonna have an impact, because you've been treating Dominic as a joke. But hey, but the moment of Karen Danhausen was pretty cool though, so I'll give them that. Well, this was the main event, so let's go to this match. Lyra Valkyria versus Bayley. I'll just say this match was really good. I think when Bayley stiffed Lyra on the nose with the elbow and Lyra started bleeding, I think it kind of gave Lyra an edge, and the match got better since that point on. Lyra won decisively here. Like, she made Bayley pass out and then she attacked her after the match. And now we need to come into a conversation. Has Bayley been written off television because she's leaving? Because we've seen the last couple of weeks, maybe even a month, of Mercedes Moné putting pictures of Bayley on social media, you know, and then she uploaded into an Instagram story an AEW Wrestle Dream graphic where it said Mercedes Moné versus Bayley, but we know that she's not gonna be Bayley on another company. So it's gonna be Mercedes Moné versus Pamela Rose, which was her name on the Indies. So like I'm thinking, like, is Bayley leaving? Because the way that attack happened, it's like Bailey's definitely getting written off or something. And we know that her contract expires in September slash October. We know that Sheamus' contract expires on October 1st. So it's like, man. And as we all know, October 1st, let me check, is a Wednesday. If I'm not mistaken, October 1st is either a Wednesday or a Thursday. So Sheamus can appear without any problem on the October 1st Impact or the October 2nd Dynamite. So we need to see. Maybe Bailey has the same contract and she can appear on any of those shows after October 1st. Therefore, why Mercedes Moné put up the Wrestle Dream graphic. But now it's time for the main event. The WWE Champion CM Punk and Cody Rhodes versus Gunther and Sami Zayn. If Gunther and Sami win, the WWE title match at SummerSlam becomes a fatal 4-way match. You see, this match is the result of what happens when you put 4 professionals that know what the fuck they're doing and you just let them cook. This match was excellent. I love the ref bump because I knew what was coming. Then we see the important thing that happens here, even though the match was really good, which you should go back and watch it. If you live in the US and Puerto Rico, go back on Peacock and watch it. If you live internationally, go back and watch it back on YouTube. Man, this match was so good. Like Dynamite last Wednesday sucked. So the fact that this was the best match of the week, which it's not saying much because this week all the shows sucked. I mean, this past week, like the Go Home Show, Raw for Saturday Night's Main Event sucked, NXT sucked, Dynamite sucked, SmackDown sucked. This one was a mixed bag, so this is definitely the best match of the week. And man, we're gonna see Nick Aldis wrestle finally in a WWE ring, because when Gunther was pinning Cody, the ref got back into his senses. I mean, well, not the ref, another ref came in, sorry. A second ref came in. He pulls the referee out. Gunther's like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Nick Aldis hits him with the WWE title. Punk gives Gunther the GTS, puts Cody on top of him, 1, 2, 3. And the match at SummerSlam is still a 1-on-1. So, and then, on Sunday on Fanatics, it got announced that it's going to be Gunther and Nick Aldis. So the question here is, what's going to happen with Sami Zayn? Are they going to have, I don't know, maybe Sami Zayn versus Cody Rhodes on SmackDown and say, like, if Sami wins, the match becomes a triple threat or something? Because right now, it kind of feels that Sami doesn't have a direction. It kind of feels like Mick Foley on the road to WrestleMania 15, where he doesn't have a direction. Remember that Mick Foley lost the title like 2 weeks before Mania 15, and he didn't have a match, and then they just put him with Big Show, like on the Go Home show. So we need to see what happens with Sami here, which is the most intriguing part of this, is what's going to happen with Sami Zayn. And now to the main event, which was Roman Reigns and Jalen Bronson celebrating and glazing each other, I hated this, but not because it's a celebrity. No, I am a San Antonio Spurs fan, okay? And watching that fucking OG Anunoby tipping once again left me traumatized. That shit was worse than the Ray Allen 3-pointer in 2013, because at least back then we still had like 15 seconds to win the game. That game 4 of the NBA Finals, we had a 29-point lead at the half. and the Adam Fox blew it away because he's a moron. So fuck the Knicks, fuck the Lakers, and fuck the Celtics. That's my opinion on this segment. But now that I got my sports fandom rant out of the way, we saw Tyrese Halliburton and Seth Rollins teaming up to attack Roman and Jalen Brunson, who, man, I really like Jalen Brunson as a player, but his charisma does not translate to professional wrestling because he's short. He's short. And, Rey Mysterio is the exception to the rule. If it was Rey Mysterio doing that to Seth Rollins, I would have been like, okay, cool, awesome. But then having Jalen Brunson having second thoughts, do I help Roman or not? And being like scared in the corner like a little kid. My guy, you are a two-time national champion with Villanova. You flat your balls on the floor, showing that you are a legit tough guy. Why are you scared in the corner? Like, this segment made no sense to Jalen Brunson's demeanor, IRL demeanor, to what they were doing here. It was awful in that regard. But hey, Jalen Brunson's cool, and they had that badass picture of Roman Reigns with the replica of the Larry O'Brien trophy, even though Michael Cole was trying to sell it as the OG Larry O'Brien trophy, which is not. It was a replica, Michael. You moron. You're a Knicks fan. You should know this, Michael Cole. It's just like so many little details here got messed up and the reason that it lasted almost 50 minutes. Like, if all that segment had been done in like 15, 20 minutes, I would have been like, that's good. But they were dragging it out. My guy, this is not a hand job. Like, sometimes this has been the problem with Triple H as the head of creative ever since NXT. Everything has to be long term. Dude, sometimes, I'm sorry for the language that I'm going to use. Sometimes edging is good, and sometimes you just gotta bust one out in like 4 minutes. And sorry for the language if there are ladies watching. But my God, but hey, that's my opinion on the 45th edition of Saturday Night's Main Event. Next Wednesday, next week, we're gonna have the SummerSlam predictions. And if you are gonna watch Unreal, the Unreal review for season 2 and season 3 will be out on YouTube next Monday and next Friday. So if you are already on my Patreon, you can already watch those. I mean, you can already watch season 2. Season 3, you can watch it by Friday. But I'm gonna put it a week later on YouTube. So, but before I go, share these beautiful moments with your families. Create beautiful memories because life's too short, but those memories will last a lifetime. As always, this is Anthony signing off. Bye bye.